Hey, this is Pastor John. Welcome to Pastor Chats. Do you like YouTube? What a silly question. You're watching YouTube. Of course you do. Hey, in this video, I want to share with you 7 of my currently favorite Christian YouTubers out there. Now, are these the best Christian YouTubers? I don't know, but you do. So get in the comments and tell me what the best ones are, or at least your favorites. These are just YouTubers I appreciate. I'm challenged by them. I enjoy them. Disclaimer, do I agree with everything they say? No. Do we always line up theologically on everything? Most of them, honestly, no. But they're still great channels. So let's get into it. The first one is Alpha and Omega Ministries. James White, Dr. James White, some consider him probably the GOAT of Christian apologetics in many ways. If you don't know who James White is, he is a Reformed Baptist, he's a theologian, he's an author, and he's also an elder at the now kind of famous Apologia Church in Arizona. His ministry, Alpha and Omega, it originally started, I believe, as a radio ministry, which means it like way predates YouTube. James is one of those guys who's been around for a really, really long time. One of the biggest resources on James White's channel is his debates. He has done like almost 200 moderated professional debates on topics like Roman Catholicism, Islam, Mormonism, King James onlyism. If you name the ism, he has probably debated it. In fact, I've got a friend that once said, I would not debate James White on whether or not the grass was green. Yeah, he's that good. He's just super well-read, well-researched. He's a great communicator. So yeah, if you're looking for like a biblical, balanced, kind of reform take on issues like Catholic doctrine, King James onlyism, Mormonism, Islam, things like that, honestly, this channel's, it's probably one of the best. Now, like I said in my opening, I do not agree with everything James White has to say, right? Like he disagrees with, infant baptism. I myself love to baptize babies, but his debates on that subject are super helpful for understanding really well the Covenant Baptist perspective. James White also, he rubs elbows with guys like Doug Wilson, which kind of puts him in that post-millennial Christian nationalist camp. I myself am not a post-millennialist, so I, really find the concept of Christian nationalism a little problematic. But, I don't know exactly where he stands on that issue, but he just definitely talked about it. So all those differences aside, I still highly recommend this channel. If any of those subjects that I mentioned before are of interest to you and you want to do some deep dives from a reform perspective, Alpha and Omega Ministries is a great place to go. Next, we have Matthew Everhard. Okay, full disclaimer before I even get into this. Matthew Everhard is actually a really, really good friend of mine. He was a pastor of mine for almost 10 years, actually over 10 years. And I was one of his employees. I was a youth pastor at his church for just as long. So we're really good buds. But I would say this, even if I didn't know Matt personally, he's one of those guys, I would still be recommending his stuff to you because he's super bright, super warm, easy to talk to, easy to listen to. Matthew Everhard is a PCA pastor and a Jonathan Edwards scholar, author. He's written several books. His latest, right here at the top there, is Worshiptainment, the Modern Church's Golden Calf. Good, challenging book. He also, is an adjunct professor at Reformed Presbyterian Theological Seminary. His videos are mostly pastoral in nature. They're from a Reformed perspective. And then I should point out, a distinctly Reformed Presbyterian perspective. And Matt examined theological issues like baptism, eldership, women in ministry, Bible study methods, Bible note-taking tips, which are really cool, end times, preaching methods, critical race theory, you name it. He has over 1,000 videos on his channel at this point. And honestly, if you're interested in things like, Jonathan Edwards, Puritan history, Reformed theology, Presbyterian culture, even. This is, I would honestly say it's probably like one of the #1 places on YouTube to go and find that stuff. And I'm not just saying that because he's a super cool guy and an ubermensch, okay? All right. Love you, Matt. All right. Third channel is Daily Dose of Wisdom. Brandon McGuire, this guy is really blowing up. Look at that, almost 1 million subscribers. This is a huge Christian apologetics channel. Mostly it's reaction videos to like different apologetic conversations, but Brandon's take, in my opinion, is almost always spot on. The thing I've enjoyed the most about this channel is it actually introduced me to some names I was not aware of, atheists like Alex O'Connor, and even guys like Wes Huff. Names I hadn't heard before, I heard about first on this channel. So honestly, I think I would say this is probably like one of the best channels out there for classic apologetic stuff. I myself am a little bit more of a presuppositional apologetics guy, but if you're looking for some insightful, logical, even biblical responses to those big questions like the problem of evil, the deity of Christ, creation versus evolution, things like that. Daily Dose of Wisdom, great channel. Really, really, really good stuff. Next, speaking of Wes Huff, is Wes Huff. Yeah, you have probably heard about Wes Huff because he recently blew up on the Joe Rogan Experience. He got to come on the Joe Rogan Experience, and if you have not seen that interview that he did there, you need to check it out. Wes did an incredible job in this long-form interview showing the beauty and the historicity and the dependability of the Bible to a skeptic like Joe Rogan with just millions of viewers. It was a great opportunity, and he nailed it. I will say, just a little critique, I do wish he could have like done a little bit more of a gospel presentation on the show, but I still think he did an amazing job. So yeah, Wes Huff is the director of Apologetics Canada. He's an expert in the study of ancient biblical manuscripts, and he just knows his stuff. He really does. He knows what manuscripts say. He knows how reliable they are. He knows the history behind the origins of the Bible and how the books of the Bible compare linguistically and historically with other pseudepigraphal and apocryphal works and things like that. In the area of textual criticism, to be honest with you, I highly recommend Wes Huff. James White is another great resource in the textual criticism sphere, but Wes Huff is kind of it's like the new kid on the block, really. He knows what he is. Now, I don't want to just recommend videos to you. Let me recommend a couple of books. If you're interested at all in that textual criticism sphere, that topic of like, hey, I've heard of these Gnostic Gospels, and why aren't they in the canon of Scripture and things like that? 2 book recommendations for you. First one is C.E. Hill, Who Chose the Gospels. Really, really great scholarly work. And then second is The Heresy of Orthodoxy by Kostenberger and Kruger. This is really a kind of a takedown of Bart Ehrman, the whole Bauer hypothesis and all that kind of stuff. So if that area of textual criticism is of interest to you, 2 really scholarly great books to read. Okay, back to YouTube, back to the videos, right? Next channel is Mike Winger, the Bible thinker himself. Okay, now let me say this at the beginning. Theologically, I don't line up with Mike Winger on just about anything. Okay. I'm Reformed. He's not. I baptize babies. He's a Credo Baptist. I'm essentially a cessationist, right? When it comes to the sign gifts in the New Testament, I think they've mostly ceased. Mike Winger is clearly a continuationist. So here's the deal though. I still think Mike Winger is the man. Why? Because he loves Jesus and he loves the Bible. And Winger goes out of his way to like really do some deep dives into Scripture. His videos if you know his channel at all, they are not short. He once did 11 hours on the issue of women in ministry in First Timothy chapter 2, a topic which I do agree with him on there, right? But I love this. I love that he does these deep dives. I love that he takes his time to really go through the scriptures when he's answering viewer questions and stuff like that. Why do I love that? Because when he is doing a topic which I, disagree with, I end up getting challenged, like, okay, I know I'm getting like a really robust rebuttal to my own viewpoint, and that's good. Winger keeps me sharp, it's really, really good stuff. Winger also did a lot of research and investigation into Benny Hinn. He's got a 4-hour video here. Again, his videos are not short, on the victims of Benny Hinn, 30 years of spiritual deception. He's kind of been getting into investigating some of those, word faith movements and guys like Benny Hinn. If you haven't seen this video right here, worth it. Really, really worth it. All right. Now, that's a bunch of YouTubers that, maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't. But here's two you probably have not heard of. The first is Dizzy Disciple. I haven't got a clue who Dizzy is. I think he was a Bible college student or something like that. He only has like 7 videos on here, not that much on his channel. But I will say I've actually really enjoyed the videos. They're these like video essays, and they're kind of well done video essays on some pretty interesting topics. Obviously his videos are kind of geared towards like a younger audience, and he's trying to rub against the whole like modern evangelicalism, contemporary evangelicalism, sort of the word faith preaching stuff, which I really appreciate. He did do a great video on Kanye West's kind of Christian journey. Remember when Kanye West was calling himself a Christian? Now his posts have kind of dropped off recently, so Dizzy, I hope you're doing well, man. Can't wait to see some more videos. Lastly, is a channel very new to me called Christian Erudition. This channel, really new, but it has some great uploads. Now the best part about this channel so far, what I'm the most excited about, are the interviews. The owner of this channel, what he does is he does these like kind of longer form interviews. None of the long form interviews are actually on the channel yet. They're going to be, but just clips of them and shorts of them are, but they look really interesting. Like this one right here, he did an interview with, what was his name? Dr. Bruce Gordon, who is a Yale professor, who is also a biographer of John Calvin, and he did this long interview with him. I can't wait to watch the whole thing, man. About the life of John Calvin, and it's really interesting. He also did an interview with a guy from BioLogos about theistic evolution. Again, those full interviews aren't out there yet, but I cannot wait for them. This is just an interesting channel from a guy. It really feels like he's kind of on this journey of learning as he's doing this, and yeah, I've been really appreciating this channel. Really, really, really good stuff. All right, hey, that's it. Those are my top 7 current top 7 list of favorite Christian YouTubers. Please post your favorites down in the comments below. And hey, real quick, let me invite you to church. If you're in the Henry County, Newton County area, the suburbs of Atlanta area, you want to come join us one Sunday, we'd love to have you. Worship is at 10:30. You can find us at faithmcdonough.com. And hey, listen, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you enjoy those channels, learn something. Hey, God bless. Have a great day. See you next time.